If you were looking for a quick and easy video guide on how to replace your outlets in the home, then stay tuned, you won't want to miss this video. Hey, what is going on? Brandon DIY here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to replace an outlet in your home, and I ended up installing a child-proof outlet, and that means that if a child sticks their finger in this, they're not going to be shocked because there is a plate that will block them from doing that, but it does not block your ability to plug something in. So the first thing I do is I go to my breaker box. I make sure that I turn off the power before I do any electrical work. That's very important to start out with, especially if you are a novice and this is your first time doing this type of work. And of course, beyond that, there is some testing you will need to do to ensure that you don't get electrocuted. That's the very first disclosure here. But the next thing you will do is then take your electrical testing device and plug it into that outlet. Make sure that you don't see red. If you see red, that means that there is an electrical current and you want to avoid doing any work until you see green only on this device specifically. So these are my original outlets with the original outlet cover. It doesn't look that great and really needs replacement. Of course, with young children in the home, you will want to consider something like a child protective outlet where if they stick their fingers in, they won't get electrocuted. Very important to have that in the home because that's the first thing they will go for. So this will make your mind rest easy. But the first thing I'm doing is I'm cutting to ensure that I can easily take out this outlet cover. And then what I'm going to do is make sure that I cut all around, because you could end up ripping off some paint and you don't want to add more work to the project than is already absolutely needed. So testing once again, but this is the toolbox that I always use for all the projects in my home. A link down in the description below for this toolbox. So what I'm going to need is a Phillips head screw, or I can get a attachment for my drill. And really I am going to end up using my drill, but a lot of different tools and pieces here in this tool set. So initially I'm going to remove these Phillips head screws with my Phillips head screwdriver from my tool set. Now, these instructions are great if you don't have a drill at home. Very easy to do by hand, but you could, of course, use a drill as well. Now, again, I'm testing before I go in and remove the screws that are holding in the wires. And very easy and simple to understand. You're simply going to match up the current setup with the new setup. So I'll show you how to do that here in just a moment. Okay, so now we are proceeding to loosen the screws on the original outlet to loosen up that cable. And once you've ensured that there's no current flowing through these cables, you can then remove them. And this is the new outlet set that I'm going to be installing. Now there's going to be a link down in the description below for these outlets. Again, child protective outlets, very good product. They look great as well. You can probably get them in different colors. Now I will be removing this cable with some needle nose pliers from my toolbox. And this should be very simplified, and you should be able to easily remove this cable. Now at this point, what I recommend you do is now just match up on your new outlet the setup that you had on your original outlet. And so that's going to be very simplified for you, and you don't have to try to remember or take a picture and try to do it later. Just do it right there on the spot, one cable at a time, attach it, and then move on to the next part of it. So I know for a fact that this is the setup that I had on my original outlet. You see that it's the left screw when the outlet is facing out the way that it's supposed to be facing. And I know that it's facing the right way because I see the original outlet setup. So just very easy, simplified way to do this. Of course, there's a cable on the bottom, so there's two cables. Sometimes there's three that you'll need to pay attention to. And so here you can see the positioning of that last cable, and do this slowly. Be patient with this process. You know, even if you're doing all of the outlets in your house, it's better to do this the right way than to have to find out later on that one of these outlets is not working and you'll have to replace it again. So doing double work isn't something you really don't want to have to do. All right, so we're getting that next cable on there, and we are tightening down all these screws. We want these screws to be tightened down, and now we are ready to reattach to the wall. Now you're going to have new screws, and what you can do is take your Phillips head screwdriver, or as I said in the past, a drill, and tighten that down. Tighten it down as much as possible. Make sure that it's nice and tight. And of course, the next part of this is putting on that top bracket to cover this up, and it's going to give it a really sleek look. Now these child protective outlets come in different colors, so if you'd like gold or black or some other color, check the link down in the description below. Also, make sure to check out the link for the tool set that I use, because there's so many different tools that you can use to do a lot of different projects in the home. If you're going to be doing some DIY projects, that's really the way to go. So here I'm using my drill. You see me doing that really quickly, and I wanted to show you kind of the both methods of doing it by hand and with the drill. And so now we have our outlet fully attached. Now at this point you could test before you even put this cover on, and I'm pretty confident in my work, so I'm going to go ahead and place that cover on there. You see how nice it looks compared to the old outlet that I had initially and the unsafe outlet. This is a safer outlet. It looks better. Why not go this route? Very inexpensive on Amazon. All right, so now the last thing is to attach the flathead screw. I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver from my tool set. Remember all the product links that are down in the description below. I really hope this video was helpful to you. If it was helpful, please make sure to like. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. That's really all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.